It's your boy, yadiiiigg, 4 eyes, 2 G's, and before we get into the video for today guys, please make sure to like, subscribe, and follow your boy on all social medias for more. But on to today's topic, and today we're going back in time with Lil Uzi Vert, detailing his path to fame and stardom, starting from the very start of his music career. For time's sake, I won't be discussing everything and turning over every stone, rather instead, I'm only going to be focusing on what I think are the key moments to his music career, and try to add context to them when necessary. And the story of Lil Uzi Vert's music career begins when he was in 10th grade, where one of Uzi's high school friends was releasing music that was popular amongst his school, and Uzi became jealous of the attention it was getting him, so he decided he would start to make music as well. However, around this period, nothing really noteworthy happened in his music career, so we're gonna skip forward a few years into 2014, as that is when Uzi's music began to take off. The first song still up on his Soundcloud is titled Into Field Freestyle, which was released in early Jan, and although we can safely say it wasn't his first song ever made, it is the first song that we have available to us from him at this point. Later on in January, he would release his first project, Purple Thoughts Volume 1, which interestingly enough featured some production from the infamous Space Ghost Perp, and not too long after this, thanks to DJ Diamond Cuts playing his music on local Philly radio, Uzi would catch the attention of Don Cannon, who would link up with Uzi, eventually lead into drama and Cannon signing Uzi and taking him under their wing as their protege. And after connecting with the two in 2014, Uzi would release his second project, The Real Uzi, hosted by Don Cannon, in August. Moving into 2015, in January, DJ Carnage would release What Do You Want, an infectious banger helmed by Uzi featuring Rich the Kid and ASAP Ferg. This would be Uzi's first hit, and although it wasn't a commercial success, it got about as big as a song could get without crossing over, sitting at 40 million plays between SoundCloud and YouTube. This song proved vital in Uzi's career and introduced his name to wider audiences in the underground. And moving on to October, on the 30th he would release Love Is Rage 1, a classic amongst Uzi fans and what many people consider to be his best project. This would be instrumental in his success, and as we would see his name start to creep into the mainstream over the next few months, this tape would become increasingly popular, featuring now iconic Uzi tracks like Top and 7 AM. Then, only a day later on the 31st, Uzi would get a huge look on Young Thug's Big Racks off of Slime Season 2. This was a vital moment in Uzi's rise and helped to introduce many people to Uzi as he matched Young Thug's efforts on the track with a catchy and memorable intro. And moving into 2016, Uzi's buzz was really starting to gain some traction as Love Is Rage 1 was spreading like wildfire across underground internet scenes. And this brings us to April 2016, where Uzi would release Lil Uzi Vert vs. The World, a tape that features some of Uzi's most popular hits, like Money Longer, You Was Right, and P's and Q's. Building on the hype from Love Is Rage 1, this project was extremely well received by fans, and represented a new sonic direction for Uzi. It's important to note that although Uzi's music had become very trendy and was inescapable on the internet, he still hadn't managed to break through to the mainstream yet, with him yet to have a charting song on the Billboard Hot 100. And this crossover would begin to take place in May, where Uzi would be featured on Wiz Khalifa's Pull Up, contributing with an earworm hook. This would be Uzi's first taste of mainstream success, as the song would go gold. And just a month after this, Uzi would be announced as a XXL freshman for 2016, and the combination of the now legendary cypher, meme power, and the controversy behind the generational shift in hip-hop the list represented caused the list to go all sorts of viral, and this helped to add a healthy boost to Uzi's buzz and spread his name to new demographics. And with Pull Up blowing up, the XXL spot, and Vs. The World continuing to spread, a perfect storm was created for Uzi, and his inevitable mainstream crossover was beginning to take place, with Money Longer becoming his first Hot 100 entry in July. The unconventional hit, courtesy of thumping Molly Raw production and an infectious hook from Uzi, would help to catapult Uzi to one of this generation's front runners, and the hype from Money Longer would spill over and turn people onto his other music, giving rise to You Was Right, Uzi's second commercial hit, and both of these songs would later go on to be certified double platinum. And later on in July, he would release his second tape of 2016 with the Perfect Love tape. This project again showed Uzi's diversity with a sonic switch up from his prior tapes. However, this project wasn't nearly as well received as his others, and is generally looked at as one of Uzi's Uzi's weaker offerings by fans. And moving on to October, Migos would link up with Uzi for their 4-time platinum mega hit Bad and Boujee. And there isn't really much I can say about this song at this point. This track would be the first time hearing of Uzi for literally millions of casual listeners around the world. And although I wouldn't say it necessarily transformed Uzi's solo career to another level like it did for the Migos, it definitely did a lot to keep his name buzzing and people talking about him, as his verse would be a popular point of contention for fans as they debated back and forth whether it was fire or trash. And later on in November, Uzi would release a collaborative tape with Gucci Mane titled 1017 vs. The World, and there isn't really much to say about this project. It's a cool mini tape, but it's not overly noteworthy and it isn't really considered a part of Uzi's main discography. And moving into 2017, in February, Uzi would drop 4 tracks on his Soundcloud that would form Love Is Rage 1.5. The most noteworthy of these tracks was of course XO Tour Llif3, which upon release connected no other Uzi record to date. It's by far his biggest solo hit, and the combination of its chilling lyrics, catchy melody, and enchanting production turned it into one of 2017's biggest hits. And even people who typically didn't gravitate towards Uzi or the newer wave in general couldn't deny the power of this song. It went on to peak at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and go platinum 6 times over. This one-of-a-kind emotional ballad thrusted Uzi into the international spotlight and put him at the helm of the new wave. And later on in the year, after months and months of anticipation and endless teasing, Uzi would finally release his debut album Love Is Rage 2 in August. Upon release, the album was generally pretty well received from critics and fans alike, and thanks to the borderline pop platform he was able to reach with XO Tour Llif3, it performed extremely well commercially, selling 135k first week, and ended up spawning multiple hit singles with The Way Life Goes and Sauce It Up. The success he received from this album cemented Uzi as the front runner from the 2016 generation, as all of his peers would fail to get close to him numbers wise. And since the release of Love Is Rage 2, it's been relatively quiet for Uzi outside of him featuring on other people's songs. Label issues seem to be a constant struggle for him, as we've seen feuds between him and his management spill over to Twitter, and this is probably a reason for a lack of new music. Earlier on in 2018, Uzi would hint at a new project titled Eternal Atake via social medias, exciting anticipation from fans. Then, after initially teasing the song on IG, Uzi would drop new Patek in September, which fans took to mean that Eternal Atake was around the corner. But since new Patek, we haven't really gotten any new information about the project aside from another Instagram snippet, and for now the project doesn't have a release date and seems to be in limbo. And that pretty much brings us up to date with Uzi, and as the wait for Eternal Atake continues to go on and on, fans are getting more and more desperate, and I hope that we can get the project soon. But that's all from me today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and follow your boy on all social medias for more.